What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Sales Boomerang Mortgage Coach Masterclass. Today, we have the goal that anyone that stays with us, that focuses on what we're going to do, can close 2 extra loans. Well, let's say take 2 extra apps over the next 2 weeks. Like, we want this to deliver immediate value, very relevant in today's market. It is August 2022. Interest rates. Sosi, what are interest rates today in the market?
They're about low fives, mid fives, some high fives, depending on where you're
mid
at.
fives. And I have a feeling if I asked different loan officers, I'd hear different numbers based on the market and the
For
platform.
sure.
But
OB as of yesterday was at a 5.37.
Okay, cool. One thing I know for sure, they're up like 3% since the beginning of the year. So this is a rising interest rate market, and we want to teach you a couple things. There's going to be really 2 micro lessons that you're going to get today. A borrower consultation, and you're going to do it in a way that improves your conversion, and you're going to do it in a way that increases your referrals. Because if you're going to get 2 more apps in the next 2 weeks, we need to make a tweak to your borrower presentation. Also, we're going to cover Realtor presentation. How can you get a Realtor presentation that's better than what you're doing right now? Like, you're doing something right now, like we want to elevate it so you get 2 extra presentations. Before we bring on the teacher and the master and the student, I want to bring on Alex. Alex is the co-founder of Sales Boomerang, the chief vision officer for Mortgage Coach Sales Boomerang. What's up, Alex?
What's going on, Dave? What's up, Brett? What's up, Sosi? And hello, everyone that's already tuned in. I love what you said just a second ago when we just opened up, and like we've doubled the people in the room now. I'm just going to repeat like how you said it. The goal of this is to help you in this environment get 1 to 2 extra apps or deals. But I like how you said it, Dave. Applications over the next 2 weeks. How can you use these tactics, these skills, these concepts we're going to go over to help each one of your producers, not you as a company, but each one of your producers to add 1 or 2 extra apps in the next couple of weeks. So I just love that opening. I thought it was worth repeating.
Thank you, Alex. And one more frame I want to put around this before we bring our teacher on stage is we want this to be something where it's standalone value, whether you're a loan officer, you're a producing branch manager, you're an executive, you're getting value. But we also want this to be a resource for your next sales meeting. Like, think of this as something you could actually do a sales meeting with next week. You could watch this, you could use clips from this, and you could play it forward. So if you're a loan officer, forward this to your branch manager. If you're a branch manager, this is sales meeting in a box next week. So Sosi, since you're going to be the teacher of this masterclass, why don't you introduce yourself, tell everybody a little bit about your production, your platform, and what we're going to teach today.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, guys. I'm so excited, man. Hearing you, I kind of just kept hearing, something that a lot of us have probably heard a lot, that 10X model. And so I'm not going into that world, but I do love that concept, right? Today's entire masterclass is going to be focused on how to help all of us multiply the business we have now into a greater number, even in that definitive time of 2 weeks. And for me, multiplication has really been my experience in the mortgage industry. I started about 6 years ago in the mortgage industry. Specifically, the first year was in a marketing department, and I was mentored by a real estate agent that did 368 units a year.
Wow.
Big amount of business, right? And so he taught me everything I needed to know on how to be able to partner correctly alongside other successful real estate agents. Year 1, did 8 million, literally knew nothing about mortgages, right? Didn't even have a car loan. I was a pastor before that. Year 2, went up to about 16. Year 3, hit 44. Year 4, hit 77. And last year we closed with about 94 million in volume, and we were able to help over 173 families. And so we're really, really grateful for that opportunity. But again, my principle in that is show multiplication is something that I've been able to see in a really, really quick timeline. And so to give the key of how we can be able to grow in that multiplication, whether you're trying to catch the tailcoats of a shift going upward, or now where we're at in a shift going downward and we have to modify, here's the biggest lesson I can share. And it comes from when I was, a wee little lad. One of the things that happened a lot in my childhood was when my mom would come into my room and she'd start having me go and pick out toys to give away. Then she would also have me go and pick out clothes to give away, because every other weekend we traveled to Mexico and she forced me to donate all those good things I loved. And honestly, when you try making a child do something that they don't like to do, give away their favorite toys or whatnot, right? Because you get through the trash pretty quickly. Like, you start giving away all the crappy stuff, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn it, that's a good one. It's really, really difficult. And there was one moment in time where I saw my whole mentality change on how I viewed that activity. And it was this moment when we're crossing back from Mexico and we're at the border. And this is a familiar spot because I felt like I grew up there, going there every other weekend. And I remember seeing these kids juggling for money. And I remember seeing these other kids coming and trying to ask for anything they could plead for. They're selling gum. And specifically, there's this one boy that came up selling gum, and he caught my attention. And he caught my attention because I saw my dad laser focus on him. I didn't know what was going on. Later on, as the drive continued and some of that silence kind of went away because there's this awkward atmosphere, I asked my mom what took place. And she pretty much opened up to me about the story of how my dad, for that specific individual, was so dear to his heart because he actually grew up on the border selling gum to people coming into the U.S. And the necessity to be able to give forth to people that need to be able to have a position of change, all of a sudden really dove into my heart of this valuable piece that I never wanted to give away, because I saw how my dad's life got changed by people being generous to him, and how I can help other people's lives change as well. And so I share this because when we're thinking about how we're going to multiply, we have to understand there's going to be bad habits that get developed from bad perspectives, just like my perspective was a spoiled child. And the way you change those habits and now come into our adulthood is by one secret factor, and it's by getting more information. And in today's class, we're going to be identifying how more information is needed for you to present yourself or to yourself as a professional. More information is needed for you to present to your partners so you can coach them and help them build. More information is needed for you to present with your clients so you can help convert them and educate and empower them into a different level. And more information is needed so you can present differently to the community. And through those principles, my argument today and my thesis here for you guys, and what I want you guys to take away, is this secret on how to be able to multiply your business through this beautiful power of influence and education that we all have the capability to hone into. So first thing we're going to cover is going to be client conversions. Go ahead.
Dude, that story was insane. I've interviewed multiple times, and you hit my heart. So I just first thank you for sharing that story and for setting the stage for what people can learn. Because guys, what we're going to bring down is some of the best practices that the best loan officers in America are doing. And I shared a post yesterday on social media, and this was the post, guys. This hit me over the weekend, where all things are difficult before they're easy. And so I think when we look at how are we going to get 2 extra loans, first of all, you got to stop some things you're doing, and you got to start doing some new things.
That's right.
So see, that was a great start. Before you give this next lesson, I do want you to introduce your student, Brett, so that at least when Brett chimes in, because I know you're going to bring him in and out of the conversation. Let's make sure everybody gets to know Brett real quick.
Yeah, Brett, I mean, I feel like you could probably give a better introduction to yourself. What I will share is I've stalked you a bit more too. You have you have a very bright future in front of you, and I think you're going to be able to help everyone here have a translation between concept to implementation in a really, really productive way for us. But Brett, please share a little bit more of your backstory. I don't want to steal any of that.
Absolutely. Thanks for the introduction and the kind words there, Sosi. So a little bit about myself. My name is Brett Pellichet. I'm from Southeast Louisiana, Covington, Louisiana. And I was in banking for about 4 years before I transitioned over into the mortgage business. And I got into the mortgage business at August last year. So I just made 1 year in the industry. And if you remember correctly, August 29th of last year, Hurricane Ida hit. So, my mortgage business got off to a rocky start because, the hurricane basically wiped out about 2 months worth of business in Southeast Louisiana. Then we transitioned into, the first of the year, interest rates started rising and made our job a lot more difficult. We had to be very creative in how to find business and different avenues. And then around April, that's when Mortgage Coach got implemented into Assurance Financial. And from there, I kind of started taking my time and started learning it. And, since then, my applications have gone up, a significant amount. I'm building a lot more credibility between realtors, other referral partners. I go to open houses and make a open house flyer, and I co-brand with the listing agent. And then, I'll do a TCA for clients and, show them, the true cost of a loan. And I like to give them a few different options and present them like that. So yeah, it's, Mortgage Coach has been, great for me, and it's been great for my business. And, I was telling Alex yesterday, I got a text message for one of my clients. I sent a presentation to. She's like, wow, that's really amazing. I'm like, so, it works. It's working for me, and it's helping me grow in my professional, business, and growing with realtor partners as well.
Well, it's really good to have you, Brett, and we're excited about it. I'm going to be, let's just say, the official host of this call, but Alex and I will jump in. We'll add color to things. I'm actually going to jump off video, Sosi, because I want you to really have the stage as a teacher. And when I pop back in, that's because I have something to say. Now, that doesn't mean I want you to just stop talking, like, finish the thought. But Alex and I will pop in and out, but really let you and Brett rock it out with a masterclass. Let's deliver the gold, brother.
Beautiful. All right. So, the first concept we're going to go into is this concept of changing your perspective, even about yourself as a professional, right? And so this concept is really important because there is an archaic way of how mortgage professionals were operating, right? And Brett, I'm sure you have seen the big difference of what a modern professional is bringing to the table compared to the professional who's been doing this 20 years and doesn't have the energy to now pivot into what they should be doing moving forward, right? And that's some, not all of those who are 20 years plus. I'm seeing people innovate themselves, get in front of camera and do some really cool stuff, and they're just taking up even more market share. So with that being said, the first thing we're going to be looking at is the concept of how you should view yourself. And I'm going to teach this through the consultation we provide to the client. And that's the first thing that we'll make sure that we pay attention to is there are consultations provided to the client. These are consultations with actual substance. This is not just a rate quote. This is not a drive-by clarifier of what your numbers are. This is what your numbers are, why your numbers are there, and why that's important to you. Right? And so the very first thing that we're doing is when we jump on this presentation, we already are showing these clients that we're going to be able to teach them how to be successful through real estate, right? We're not here to sell them on anything, and we will usually clarify this within the first 30 seconds. My goal today for you, Brett, is for you to have the information that Google can't clarify so that with that data, you can navigate a decision to move, not move, or completely run away from this option as a whole, right? My objective here is going to be to ensure that you are educated with what you need, not you're converted so that I can get another deal. I help a lot of families. We don't need to squeeze every deal out of every single client. What we do is we pay it forward, and the beauty of that paying it forward allows us to be able to serve this community in a different way. Alex, go ahead.
So yeah, real quick, just to jump in. First of all, just out of the, knocking it out of the park right from the start. And I want everyone that's listening, you can put a thumbs up, thumbs down in chat. Are you coming to the table with a presentation, right? Are you just talking, or are you inviting people to your experience? Are you bringing them into your world, or are you treating them like everyone else? They're just talking to them on the phone, and hopefully they get back to me. Hopefully they recognize who I am as a person and not just that I'm trying to sell them something. So give me a little thumbs up, thumbs down, smiley face, frowny face. If you're doing it, great. If you're not doing it, this is a first micro takeaway, right? Create a presentation so you can be that advisor, and you can not forcefully try to sell things to people, but pay it forward.
Yeah. And I will share, Alex, I've done a good amount of coaching across the country. And, Brett, I don't know what your experience has been with other people who are used to feeding people a meal that is unhealthy for them. Right. And what I mean by that is that the common originator of the past has made consumers treat the loan officer just like that, a product they consume like a vending machine. Right. When you're able to pivot and realize that you are about to help somebody gain hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt and also gain hundreds of thousands of dollars of a potential asset, and 99% of the time that they have with this asset, you're not even involved with it. When you realize the responsibility of what's actually being transferred, you start understanding that there is more that you need to bring to the table than just a quote, right? And so if we want to learn how to be able to get one or two more deals, especially steal one or two more deals from people who give far less value, the first clarifier for us is being able to have a mindset difference and knowing that you are going to bring something different to the table. Something that's actually worth the time and cost that they spend with you. From there, the second slide that we go into, right, is imperative for us. This is the whole cornerstone of our presentation. It's the advice and strategy, right? It's knowing that 44% of Americans regret their real estate decision within 2 to 3 years. It's knowing that 83% of the average American's net worth in retirement is coming from their home equity. It's knowing this factor that you are going to have an opportunity to be a member of change in somebody's life where their life is never going to be the same after they've acquired this amount of debt and this asset, right? That is where we're at. And so your TCA is going to be a beautiful tool to be able to help you now show clarity to the client from the stuff you know in a really palatable manner so they can walk away with what they need to make a good decision. So advice and strategy, we're going to go into that a little bit at the later end of the call. I'm going to show you guys an actual TCA. We'll go through it. But for just the concept of setting the stage with your clients as you're influencing them, giving them information so they can change their perspective, this is the way we do it. We set it up with the actual purpose of the consult. We then go into the details of why this consultation is going to change their perspective on everything they know, right? So for example, Brett, let's pretend you're a consumer. Brett, has any of the other lenders you've been shopping with shared with you that a 19% down loan can actually have a better interest rate than a 20% down loan?
No, Sosi, they haven't. Why is that?
So from just a logical standpoint, right? Let me ask you, who would you rather trust to drive your car, an insured borrower or an uninsured driver?
That's a good question. I'd much rather insure borrower just in case of anything, an accident or something.
These big bank investors think the same way you do. Right? If you have mortgage insurance, you are less of a risk and you potentially get better costs in regards to the rate. So let me show you through this total cost analysis if that option is actually better for you. And let's even go down to 15% down or 10% down, where I know you're going to say it, but Sosi, monthly mortgage insurance is going to be more expensive. Well, Brett, I'm going to show you some options where you can do mortgage insurance instead of monthly as a single premium finance into your loan, so you can get the lowest payment, as your biggest challenge of what you shared was affordability, right? The TCA makes that really cool script actually clear. And we'll go into that later on in the conversation. But this, again, is one of the most important pieces of the entire consultation, because this is a meat. Showing them side-by-side comparisons with long-term impacts is going to be the aha that makes your clients go, holy crap, this guy is not a Rocket Mortgage. This guy is not the other 4 lenders that I spoke with. This is actually different. I now not only feel informed, I feel empowered, right? And don't forget that as a student of human psychology and human nature, right? One of the things that I learned the most from, other scholars in the past was that every single human being is a human factory that's best titled as a me factory. What that means, Brett, is that everyone is trying to be able to interpret information based on how does that impact me. If you can't tell me how it benefits me, I don't give a crap about what you're saying, right? And so in these TCAs, it's the way to make them understand for themselves the benefit that they have, so they can walk away going, this guy just fed me, he empowered me, and he gave me clarity of what to do. Go ahead, Dave.
And you taught them something they didn't know. Most consumers don't know that in many cases, the 19% down can outperform the 20% down or the 21%. They don't know that. The other thing that I want to make sure everybody gets the lesson from this, it's auctions. Like today, everybody is shopping. So you're seeing a lot of masters like Sosi where they're showing people purchase price options, or they're showing people interest rate options. Here's 0 points, here's 1 point, here's 2 points. Because big banks and online lenders are quoting everything at 2 points. So they're showing options. So I just want to make sure, write that down. You want to get 2 more apps over the next 2 weeks. Start training your loan officers. If you are a loan officer, start giving options, and you will convert more and you will have less price exceptions. Keep it going, Sosi.
Beautiful. So yeah, to clarify on the questions, total cost analysis is the original name here of the presentation we're going to go through. I also have nicknamed it with other mortgage coaches as your personal presentation or your personal website. Numbers website is truly the fullness, or you could say, you know, your smart loan presentation, whichever way that you want to be able to angle this, so your client knows how to actually appropriately view it. That's the crucial piece. So after we go through the personal numbers website, we then go into what is next. And for us, right, especially right now, if you not only want to take an application, but have the highest probability of keeping that application so that you can actually close that deal later, you have to be able to show the consumer why the habit of eating your meal and then saying, I don't want to pay for this, I'm going to go to a different restaurant, is exactly what they're doing when they get pre-approved by you, when they get all the information from you, Brett, all the service you give, the weekend calls, all that stuff, when they consume all of your product, and then at the end, they get into escrow and they shop you with other lenders. How do we teach these clients that that is bad behavior and not correct? Right? And so the way that we do this is
just interrupt you real quick. You know,
anytime, dude.
Before I had Mortgage Coach, you know, this exact same situation happened to me where, you know, I had an engineer, you know, very numbers oriented people. And, you know, I thought I had the deal set up, and then he kind of slithers behind my back and goes in and gets a quote for, you know, 2 other lenders. And, you know, they just kind of beat me out the water. But, you know, if I would have had Mortgage Coach at that time, I could have, you know, presented the numbers in a better scenario and a holistic approach. And I think, you know, that would have given me a much better opportunity to win that deal at that point in time. So it's great to have.
I love it. Yeah, no, honestly, I've been in the same boat, right? Like if you don't show somebody why, then they're just going to do what they're accustomed to doing. And so again, showing them here on this pre-approval, here's the difference, right? The industry standard pre-approval, you get a fee sheet, you get a credit check. Sometimes you get a software underwritten verification. You have a pre-approval letter. You have a 30 to 45 day close. You have 21-day loan. You have a 17-day appraisal. That's the standard. If that's all I'm offering you, then why the heck would I expect you to be, you know, committed to the things we give you if everyone else gives the same? And this is where we can be able to jump into further, right? Here's the Team Sosi pre-approval. You know, we talk about how we fully pre-underwrite the file, all these things, and we clarify what communication they can expect from us so they can know what product that they're committing to. But the biggest difference is the Team Sosi VIP pre-approval. What the heck is that? Well, that is something that we reserve only for those that give us 100% commitment, because we have to spend actual financial resources to pay underwriters, processors. We have to be able to spend human resources to ensure that we call your listing agent when your offer is accepted. We do a 4-point communication with a video, email, a text message, a call, and a voicemail if necessary. We want to make sure that the onus and the effort to get your offer accepted, which literally we've compared it, and Brett, it's crazy. Even in crazy markets, we have seen offers with $24,000 asking prices higher than ours not be accepted and ours accepted because of this service we give. And so as long as you're willing to provide for us more documentation, you're going to be placing offers here in the near future, and you've concluded that we're going to be the financial resource you want to utilize, our company gives us a green light to be able to invest into your file and fully underwrite it so you can receive all these benefits as you go out shopping. Brett, anything to add there? Because I know that this was a topic you were just chatting on, so I want to make sure that if there's any questions or thoughts.
Another thing to kind of, I'm currently working on a purchase right now, and they offered 25 under asking price, and they won the deal because we we called the listing agent and told them, they're strong, they're qualified. We had them conditionally approved within 3 days of, accepted contract. So, making those calls and, talking to those listing agents, really, really makes a difference in this market right now, because it's a crazy market we're in.
Yeah. And it's one thing to tell somebody, yeah, I'm more valuable than the other guy. Right. But guys, we have millennial clients now. They're not going to trust you. Right. And it's not a personal thing. It's the fact that the industry standard sales professional, 10, 15 years ago had to present accolades so that the consumer would go, yeah, you're worth my trust. Take my hand here. Take me wherever you want. We saw our past generation get burnt with that type of trust. So there is an innate aspect going on internally where I'm not going to trust you no matter how many accolades you have, right? I don't know how much your dad donated for the West Wing so you can get that accolade. No clue. What I am going to do is I'm going to go look at Google and I'm going to try to educate myself as much as I can. And then I'm going to come to you. And if you don't know what I learned, why the heck am I going to trust you? Why am I even going to pay you extra? Right? Like, we're a peer instead of an expert. So again, change the perspective of how you view yourself and help the client change the perspective of how they're viewing you through great tools like this in which we're showing.
And so, see, to kind of build on the trust factor of things, I have clients come to me all the time and they're like, I do this TCA presentation for them and show them the real cost of the loan. They're like, wait, why is that so much more? Zillow told me it was going to be, $2,700 and you're showing $3,200. What's the difference there? I'm like, well, Zillow doesn't have everything factor in. They aren't getting, quick insurance quotes that are accurate. They aren't properly assessing taxes. They aren't adding the mortgage insurance to PMI and doing it at the proper rate. So that's why you really need, a tool like that to actually present the real things, because it happens all the time. It's always the Zillow, Redfin told me my price was going to be different, but it's
when you can replace that Zillow website with a personal numbers website that Mortgage Coach provides, golden, right? Like, they don't even look at the Zillow numbers anymore.
Guys, so love the questions and the interaction. So audience, please keep this questions coming. Sosi is going to show you how to create one of these amazing modern mortgage experiences. While we call it the Mortgage Coach Total Cost Analysis, you can call anything you want. The best loan analysis, the smartest loan analysis, the personal numbers website. The idea here, and the big idea, to get 2 more apps. Think about it. Every loan officer. If you had 100 loan officers and you were able to get them to start presenting like this, that would be at least an extra 100 loans, 200 loans. If they started doing this, and you know what else? Mortgage Coach loan officers that are delivering these point of sales experiences are having less price exceptions and they're more profitable. So you just got to get them to do it. So at some point, Sosi, show everybody, how to do one of these in 5 minutes or less.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, we keep the questions coming. Notice, I like Alex's little shout out. Top advice: replace Zillow with your own numbers. Let's not run past that, guys. That's like a very, very big concept. And if you're not delivering a modern mortgage experience at the point of sale, you're just playing losing loans in today's market.
Yep.
100%.
Alex, you have anything else? Okay, perfect. So the next piece we're going to give, right, is once you get this client now completely shifted in their mentality where they go, conventional wisdom and Google confusion X, Team Sosi Y, and now I know more than Google, and now I have the tools to not be caught with the switch bait of the Zillow calculator, right? What do I do now? Now that I've committed to Team Sosi and what they're doing, what are my next steps? Well, let's go back to the emotional piece on this, right, guys? Right? Like, just because we can't show the house doesn't mean we can't jump into that interaction, so that when we look at the mental space, the mental real estate taken in their mind, Brett, your my branding will be what they remember at all times, right? Like, for example, Brett, what do you think of when I say really nice watch?
It must do well, Rolex.
What the heck? You have a brand sitting and owning real estate in your psyche, right? Like, all of a sudden you were triggered. And so if you're going to do this well, and you're going to make raving fans so that you not only gain 1 or 2 more apps, but you keep 1 or 2 more apps as closed loans, and then you leverage those into more loans in the future because that you now own property in their psychological real estate, right? The way you do that is by making sure that you understand that your experience given to them is going to be embedded in their psyche. And now when they see a Zillow ad, Zillow is paying for your ad dollars because when they see that house, they trigger Team Sosi. They trigger Brett, right? Like that's what we need to be thinking through. So the next steps that I'm trying to do for them is have a lot of fun. Have a checklist. Make sure you use the right realtor and we start leveraging why the right realtor is important and what things they need to know and how to be able to confirm if the right realtor is there. So much so that then they go, well, do you have one? Absolutely. Let's connect you with our preferred real estate partners, right? Let's get you going. Go ahead, Alex. I saw you jumped in. I'll just pause there.
Yeah, I love everything you're saying. And I want everyone to sort of, there's a hidden secret like superpower that with what Sosi is describing right now. Sosi and his team and a lot of the mortgage coaches that use the system, they do this thing like this contrast. They slow things down. Think about how many people talk to an originator from Rocket or wherever, and it's like, speed up, come on, quickly, let's take this app. And Sosi is like, slow down. And here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a chance where Sosi does this beautiful presentation, Brett does this beautiful presentation, talks about everything, and hangs up. And the person, just because in their heart this is who they are going to check with another lender. They're just going to do it. And Sosi and Brett are like, please do it. And I hope the person on the other line isn't using Mortgage Coach. That's all they're saying. Like, I hope you talk to another person. Because when you do, and that person talks to them, and they can hear in the person's voice, let's take the app and see what you qualify for. Let's take the app and see what you qualify for. They're like, wait a minute, can you explain to me this and that? And they're like, no, we don't do that. Like, let's take your app and see what you qualify for. Thank you very much. Click. Hey, Sosi, can we take the next steps? Like, that happens, I'm sure, more often than not. And so just a little hidden takeaway, slow things down. Yep. If you don't have Mortgage Coach yet, which this is key, this is what we're trying to show you guys, how important it is to have this. But if you don't, even in your personal time, as you're getting ready to offer a presentation like this, slow things down. Start with, why do you want a mortgage? Just that question alone. Why are you even having a call with me right now? Why are you on the phone with me? Slow it down. So anyway, Sosi, and real quick, Sosi, there was a question. I don't know if you can answer it in chat or not. I told Linda you would. Do you actually charge for that VIP pre-approval? I don't know if that's...
Yeah, I just answered it, but to summarize it here, the 1K is us trying to show them an estimate of what we're investing into their file with no charge to them. That's why we asked for the commitment, right? There's cost that goes to my processor, our underwriters, there's our team costs. All those pieces are things, again, that they're consuming. And effectively, if they consume and then they want to go somewhere else, it's like they ate a meal at a restaurant, finished it, said, I don't like this, I'm going to go somewhere else to eat. I'm not going to pay the bill. Right. So that's the concept there. Yeah. And to your point, Alex, I think it's really important. And I think I went past it quickly, just to talk about human nature. Right. I introduce the concept here, Brett, that there is going to be a difference of pre-approval. I don't ask them which one they want yet. I'm just getting it incepted into their mind because it's a new concept for them, and concepts take a while to be shifted. And so I don't do one after the other, but then I go into the next steps. I insert the emotion again. I talk about cross-selling the realtor. I talk about placing offers, contingencies, making sure all those contractual pieces are understood, so on and so forth, what our communication is going to be, how they can reach out to me at any time, and we'll update their personal numbers website again so they can have those numbers always trusted, how every $10,000 on average is a $50 move, and how I don't want them to hesitate on offers over the weekend because they're scared their payment's going to move $5. We don't even know what interest rates are going to be yet Monday. And so that's where we really bring in this next meeting going. Once your offer is accepted, we're going to do another personal numbers website meeting. We call it the contract meeting. We're just going to go over where are rates at, right? You were deciding between monthly mortgage insurance or single premium. At this point, we can conclude. We can now decide between 10% down or 30% down, right? Now we know what kind of house you want. Now we know what you want to move forward with. And so that's when we're going to be able to confirm all this. So Brett, have ease when you're out there shopping. Let the joy stay there and know the numbers will be confirmed in these multiple stages so that you can be confident to move forward. The next piece is the process TBD and then success. And then before I go into that, Dave, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, I want to let everybody know the links to what Sosi's presentation. They'll be in a document we'll be following up with. We've got a little playbook on that. Actual samples of the TCAs will be in that document. So Sosi, we're right at 25 minutes left.
Yep.
Let's make sure we also have time for the Realtor presentation. And remember, keep the questions coming, everybody.
I'm going to finish this real quick. So then what we do is we go really quickly into the fact that not only are we giving them value before they make a move with the analysis, not only are we giving them value by being a resource of communication during the transaction, but after this is completed, we're going to be able to help them have their mortgage under management. Because again, they're getting this massive asset and this massive debt, and there's not training and knowledge of how to manage that appropriately. And so we go into all the tools we provide for them. We don't show sales boomerang here. You'll see where I talk about sales boomerang, but for the client, I show them exactly what they need to know, that when it's processed through the me factory, they see us as valuable. Sometimes this is a 10-second explanation. Sometimes it's bigger, right? But just showing them that there's something there when no one else even mentions it is crucial. Go ahead, Dave.
So I've interviewed Sosi many times at our YouTube channel. If you guys want to go deeper on some of his processes, there's more content in that. But, we did not overpromise and underdeliver. I mean, if your loan officers start delivering advice over price, they start delivering this kind of experience, they're going to close more loans. But you know what else? They're creating clients for life. They're going to get more referrals. They're going to get more transactions out of each customer. So really, when a loan officer, does the right thing, it doesn't take any more time, by the way. You'll hear every mortgage coach loan officer say net for every loan, I'm saving 30 minutes in time. So while there is a slowdown to ask advice and deliver value, it doesn't take more time. And Sosi will show that in a minute. But guys, really, this should be like, you wouldn't have believed it if we would have put in the marketing that we're going to help you get 2 more apps over the next 2 weeks that are going to turn into 10x more transactions from those customers over time. Like, it would have been an unbelievable offer. But when we get done with this presentation and you see all the moves that Sosi's doing, it really is a 10x strategy. Like what we're teaching you could, turn every customer into 10 more loans over the course of time. So
yeah, and Dave, to kind of follow up on that, one thing I've been doing, especially being my first year in, and we've been in a very volatile interest rate market in Southeast Louisiana. Insurance rates have been all over the place. They've skyrocketed by 2 and 3 times over the past few months. What I've been doing is I've been creating these presentations for my past clients who I've closed, towards the end of last year, at the beginning of this year, and show them their monthly cost difference if they would have waited. And that's built a lot of credibility with them, and they really appreciated the cost savings at that time. Seeing the different interest rates, different homeowners insurance, and things like that. So it's another beneficial tool to kind of build on your personal brand.
The thing I love about what Brett's saying, guys, is this like brand new loan officer, and he's delivering strategies that loan officers that have been in the business for 10 and 20 years can't do, because he's a mortgage coach. He's tuned into our YouTube channel. He's using the presentations. So love that, brother.
And one 20 seconds, something I think that's so important. The presentation, you can see how powerful it is already. But I love that Sosi and his team aren't beating their chest saying, we do it all for you ourselves. We carry the entire relationship on our back. They're like, no, we got AI tools. We got management tools. We got advice. We are not hiding the fact that we're a smart lender. Remember those words, guys, smart lenders. This is what people are going to be leaning towards. How are you supporting me over time? Don't just do my loan. How are you supporting me over time? And Sosi's showing it right here. So just yet another thing, do not hide the fact that you're investing in technology and yourselves. Your clients will appreciate it. And so are your referral partners.
Yeah, Alex, I couldn't agree with that more. I think one of the things that we don't make the consumer understand well enough is that the level of mortgage IQ is not the equivalent level across the board for everybody that has the tag MLO. Right. And so if you can show that just like attorneys have different levels of experience that can help you with whatever your challenges are, so do mortgage professionals. And so that is super crucial. And so to finish this presentation, I finished with, how do you feel? Less stress, any questions? What kind of pre-approval would you like to move forward with now? Right. And that's where we ask for the business. That's where now we introduced that there was a concept to make a choice. We brought them back to the excitement. We then even put a cherry on top of the fact that they're never going to be abandoned after the loan is closed. And now we talk about, how would you like to move forward? Would you like to move forward with option 2 pre-approval or option 3? Right? And then they literally 9 out of 10 times will tell me right away option 3. And if they don't, I say, perfect. Well, if you're going to keep shopping, I totally understand that. Here's what I would ask. How much time do you need to go shop with another lender? Okay, by next Thursday, beautiful. So let's do another follow-up meeting next Thursday, and let's compare live to live pricing, and let's see exactly what the differences are so that you can have the true data as you finalize what move you want to make from there. Right? Like, don't leave it for the escrow. You know they're going to shop you and ditch you. Get ahead of the game. So the 2 favors we ask at the end, let us know if there's anybody else that you know that needs information like this. And please call your realtor. I know they're really excited to hear about how this meeting went, and we'd love to be able to let them know exactly where you're at so they can help you with the next steps. Right? That's it. I'm a process guy, so I got to finish with this. Thank you. Even that statement, guys, I will tell you, I am a process guy, but I say it intentionally every single time so the consumer knows that, and they trust me even further in the ethos that they grant me to have. Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
So Josie, I want to put you on the spot next and have you create a TCA. So get ready to show how quick you can do one. Before he does that, I'm going to give you guys a bonus script. The script I'm going to give you right now, this alone will help every single loan officer in your company get an extra loan or 2 over the next 2 weeks. So the idea of asking everyone in your current pipeline for a lead, that's not a new idea. Lots of loan officers go, hey, if you know anyone thinking about buying, selling, or refinancing, would you refer them to me? Not the best way to do it. The best way to do it, and I've learned this from some of the best loan officers in America, in one of my interviews with Jeremy Forcier, is you wait until the customer says thank you. Remember, this is someone in the pipeline.
Huge.
They either just got approved, they just got cleared to cash, and they're like, thank you. And in that golden moment where they're feeling gratitude, you send them an email that says, I need your help. Do you know anyone that could benefit from my service or who's looking for mortgage advice? So you ask them for the referral at that moment and just ask them, can you think of 2 people that you could refer me that I should know or could use my help? Simple ask. And if they start asking in that sequence, guys, you're going to get 2 extra apps. I'll put a link to a video in chat. It's just a little 2-minute video so you can hear the scripting from the loan officer alone. All right, Sosi, I'm going to time you. Show us how you can create a total cost analysis in, let's just say 3 minutes or less.
Beautiful. So first, right, we're going to put in the name. Brett, I know that you're really excited about this next move, and at the current moment you are renting. You shared with me that your rents are about $1,800 a month. From the calculations we made, it seems like they're going to increase about 2% a year. And so with that being the case, let's show your first option. The purchase price that you were really looking for was about $550. So this could be a good comparison so we can see what your house will rent for or what you're paying for rent for and what you're going to be paying for the new mortgage for. And then from there, let's now put in the purchase price. So we're going to be looking at $550. With your first initial goal, let's first look at 3% down. And then with that, let me actually change the title here for you, Brett, so that it could be super, super clear. 3% down, interest rate 5.625 on a 30-year fixed rate. And this is going to come with about a 0.5 point cost. And I'm going to do this real quickly because, like I said, I want to create a website for you. I'm going to put in some estimated fees that I'll talk about here in a second. I'll have it actually overestimate because I'd rather scare you away with fees that are too high than try to lure you in and have you be really upset at me later. And so with that, I'm going to put in some prepaid interest. We're going to look at your taxes and insurance in this area that we're looking. We're at about a 0.15 and then a 1.2 tax. And then with this mortgage insurance, we're at about a 0.34 with your fantastic credit score. With that being said, we're also going to include your escrow account since you're doing less than 10% down. And again, excuse me for going so fast. I just want to be able to put this together and then we're going to analyze it in the next screen. Now, one of the things we also talked about was you maybe not buying now and waiting for another year. So if we take the $550 purchase price and we multiply by the national average home appreciation in the last 80 years, it's 3.6.9%. That was even with the great crash involved. So that means worst case, this house should go up another 20 grand. So now let's say in 1 year, the house is worth 570, right? And then Brett, what do you think is going to happen to rates moving forward with all the news that you've been hearing in this next move?
The media is saying they're going to go up, but I guess we'll see.
So let's not agree with the media fully, but let's assume
That's what
that
they're
half a
saying,
point
right?
is accurate, right? So let's say it goes up, to 6.125%, right? That's your new interest rate. We're going to compare if that makes sense for you or not here in the future. So with that said, we're going to compare this on a 10-year average because, most people, especially our age, are moving within 10 years. But we're also going to compare it as a 5-year. So when you really view this, you can see it in full detail. So we're going to look at the rent versus own. And now we're going to put in today's date so that we can make sure that we're compliant. And here we are. Dave, what was time?
Less than 3 minutes.
Cool.
And guys, let me just show you, go back to the thing. You could do this in 30 seconds. He could go back to that one. Go to actual analysis screen. Go to the analysis screen. You'll notice in the bottom where it says copy analysis. Click on copy analysis. Like, let's just say one of your loan officers just did one of these and you just want to make another one like that. Just click current. Now click OK. And now let's just say it took him 5 minutes. It only took him 4 minutes. Boom, he just duplicated that whole scenario in 30 seconds. Just go back and update the interest rate. So the idea that to be able to deliver a modern mortgage experience, a digital link, it takes long. It's a myth. It's actually faster and easier to price out a loan and deliver options with Mortgage Coach. So anyway, Sosi, you're killing it.
I think it's important, real quick, Dave, to jump in here, and Sosi, you too. So you guys just saw what he created. By the way, it's magic, okay? For your consumer who typically just hears things and then there's a black and white piece of paper with some information and maybe several of them and maybe nothing is presented at all. For them, when they can see it on their phone, their tablet, their computer, and it's happening in real time. Sosi, could you show them what you just created? What would Isaac and what's Brett seeing? This is what Brett's seeing. Now,
so when Brett
can you
is
show
seeing
him
it, right,
something specific here, Sosi? Just real quick. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to highlight from your Mortgage Coach screen, you want him to look at something. Now, remember, Brett's at home by himself. Sosi's at home by himself. They're not in front of each other. And he's trying to get Brett to look at something specific. Show him how you can highlight things that are important.
So, what's the total monthly payment for the $550,000 loan?
Yeah, so Brett, that's a really good question. And so I'm going to show you how to read the website I just created for you. Obviously, you saw me create it. I didn't code it all the way, but I created it so you can have it. And so anytime you need updated numbers, just let me know. I'll get this set up for you. But to kind of look at this first summary page, in our conversation, the 550 right now with what you're qualified for with current rates, your total payment is $3,841. That's a pretty big jump from your $1,800. Right. And so let's explain what makes up that $3,841. And then let's also look at your cash to close, because the estimate right now is about $31,000. So do you see this little white button that I'm making blink called More Info?
Yeah, I do.
So when you click on that, you're going to be able to see two tabs: closing cost tab and payment breakdown. Payment breakdown is your principal and interest payment, your property taxes that are estimated, your hazard insurance are estimated. And I do want to emphasize estimated. I mean, I'm a top national producer, so I help a lot of families. So this is still a guess, but it's a pretty well-educated guess in this area. So again, this number is going to change. But with that estimate, mortgage insurance, your monthly payment total with those four factors is $3,841 with no HOA. Your payment total is still $3,841. Your closing cost of that, right? You have a down payment of $16,000. You have the closing estimated cost here of $7,500. You have about $2,600 in points and about $5,000 in prepaids. What I do want to clarify here is that these estimates on the total closing costs, again, are estimates. Sosi's not making that money on this, right? When you go to the fee detail, you'll see that our company is charging a $1,730 flat fee. Everything else is not exhaustive, but again, it's in the heart to make sure that you're going to be in a safe place as far as how much money you're setting aside, instead of a surprise state and all of a sudden at the end, you see that there might be an issue with you closing the loan. So with that being said, these estimates are conservative to keep you safe. With looking at these numbers, if we're trying to decide what we should do, right? $1,800 to $3,800 doesn't feel good. But what feels better? Taking this payment now and letting your equity grow and refinancing later, or let's say you wait a year and you save more. Right? So let me even just modify this. Let's say that you save 5% and now your mortgage insurance even gets a little better, right? And so this is just an estimate, but let's look at this. Now what just happened is this 570 purchase price, which appreciation would push, with the new 0.5 point interest rate increase, puts you at a monthly payment of $41.57. Oh, let me see. I don't think I refreshed it. So let me just refresh it one more time so you can see what the new payment is going to be, even with the higher monthly.
And by the way, guys, Brett wouldn't see the refreshing on right. That's just because he's sharing the screen. Brett just sees the final product. Go ahead.
It would be $4,071, even if now you have $44,000, Brett. So you can save $15,000 more over the next year, which I know is going to be, a tough sacrifice. And what's going to happen is you're going to still have a payment to almost $200 more expensive, or $274 more expensive than what it would be like if you bought now. But in addition to that, let's say you save even longer because some issue comes up and you can't save that much. In the next 5 years, you're literally looking at paying $112,000 to your landlord instead of to yourself. When if you did buy this house, you can actually pay yourself $39,000 of principal payments. And not only that, but when you look at your net worth, and I'm just going to have this change really quick for you right now. When you look at your net worth in 10 years, your net worth, right, is now multiplied in your rent by nothing because you're not paying yourself anything, to this $30,000 investment is now being changed to $348,000 in a 10-year period. You are leveraging $30,000 to have a $500,000 asset so that you can then walk away with over $300,000 in profit. Brett, which do you think feels worse?
The option one feels worse. I never even thought about it that way. I never thought about it in terms of net worth or equity build. So, this has been very informative to me.
Beautiful. Well, let's talk about the next steps of the pre-approval, right? That's how it would look.
He couldn't turn it off.
Before we run out of time, because one of the things, in addition to delivering a great borrower consultation that converts better, all that, you're doing a great job of making the case with realtors that, hey, I'm a modern loan officer because I have sales boomerang and I have borrower intelligence, and because I have mortgage coach and digital presentations. Yep. Like, your database is better off in my database. Yep. Like, I can do a better job of creating creating sales opportunities in my database. Would you mind sharing how you do that and just give us high level? And I know you've got a slide or two that helps make the case.
I'm going to take a 5-minute sprint here, Dave, where I'm just going to focus in on sharing this. This is our realtor presentation, right, Brett? And so the big components that I want to share here is that if you're trying to be able to change the mentality of a realtor, it's the same principles I shared with the habits earlier. You need to be able to use new information to change their perspective. If you invite them into a mission with you, you're going to have so much more success than just, let me help you make more money. When you show that in a 2-day pre-approval process, a 30-day close, a 45-day shopping, and a 30-year loan commitment, when you sum up all those numbers, 99.3% of all that time is left on the client's shoulders alone, with untrained resources of how to be able to manage and leverage this debt appropriately for their future. So, as a realtor, I know that you're looking for resources that help you change from vendor to partner. And so I'm not coming to you trying to tell you that I do the transaction better than everyone else. I do it better than most, but I want to be able to show you something different so that we can do business better than everyone else. And that's going to come in the place of helping you convert more clients through a TCA in many different facets. It's going to come through the place of making your clients be understanding what they're getting and why they're getting it. It's also going to come through this means of having a structured recipe that you as a chef in your business know you can rely on, so you can cook up these transactions in the right way without having to do everybody else's job in the process, right? But more importantly, not only do we want to help you do the transaction well and convert business well, we want to be able to help you manage your data like a billionaire, right? We've all been trained on how to manage our data like a realtor. Let me get their anniversary, their favorite team. Let me get all this stuff. But how do you manage your data like Facebook and Twitter? How do you help predict activity so that you can be the resource for the consumer? Well, in the partnership that we have available for our selected people, right? Not just those who were being used as vendors, but people we want to partner and invest into each other's business with. Here's what happens. The basic resources are, we have a client success manager that we do our post-closing call. We talk about what needs to be understood up front, what the next 3, 6, 12 months are going to look like, what financial annual reviews are going to look like. We also create inception-based materials that send them out total cost analysis that show them, how do I buy a second home? How do I leverage my equity? Stuff that provokes them to thinking, so that through that thinking, they remember us and we have intelligent conversations of opportunity again. We do equity analysis plans where we just review, what can you do with your equity? You just had a buttload created in the last 2 years, right? I just got an alert from Sales Boomerang show me that there's a massive amount of equity. Let's call them, see what's going on, and see what life events might be happening that we can help them leverage and liberate the capital in their home so they can have an even more comfortable and successful life. Now, I know I got 2 more minutes. So the other resources we talk about, and this is something that Dave has coined so well, being the captain of the wealth team, showing the consumer that they do need something bigger. It's called a family office, right? The ultra wealthy have a family office where their consultants manage their money. The layman should have that too. So as we help you year after year, helping you have resources with CPAs, estate planning attorneys, financial advisors is crucial. But Brett, as a real estate agent, right, we also want to be able to put other hooks in. And so our other level 1 is going to be all these resources, past client events, corporate offerings, lunch and learns, but we're also going to be providing you a co-branded home digest where you're going to be able to see the activity the client's having through a HomeBot tool and be able to call them based on the data that they know they're interacting with, yet they don't know you're reading on the back end. But to even get more big brother and more billionaire status, our level 2 is something called Sales Boomerang. This is specifically only something available to loan professionals because of certain regulations around credit. But this is what's going to happen, Brett. We're going to be alerted when the equity is in the right position so that we can identify if they're at a potential sell, if we could take off MI and champion how good of resources you and I have been together both for them, if we can see them do any other options with that equity. But, and this is kind of my favorite part here, Brett, we're going to be able to do significant life events, right? So if your clients are getting a divorce, if there's a birth, if there's a death, we're able to engage with them and help them manage what those next steps look like, whether it's a preparation or it's a solution. We credit monitor, so when the scores get to where we need them to be, we help you know when somebody else is listed with somebody else so that we can identify why and if we can help them together on the purchase side, right? There's some other resources we'll give as well, Brett, with other tools, but that is one of my favorite ones that we get to in this process. So with that said, when we help you manage data like a billionaire, here's how you connect clients with us. Here's I should stop. Here's how you connect clients with us. We go through all that. And then from there, we debrief. And this is, Brett, where I would ask you, what questions, comments do you have? Do you want to partner more together? What next meetings do you think would be best to have with you and your team? Should we do psychology of sales, social media strategies, better advice client scenarios? Or are you ready to take that extra partner step and do some meetings around being able to bring your data in and have us manage it like a billionaire so that you and I can be more successful, but even more importantly, our clients can reach a level of success they never even dreamed of possible. All right, done. Thanks, guys.
All right, if you can stop sharing your screen. So Sosi Avila is a masterclass teacher. I want to share a few of my closing thoughts, hand it off to Alex to nail it. I'm going to add a few more slides, guys, and we're going to give you links to all these slides. You know, Sosi was generous enough to share his. But here's the reality. Everyone watch this. You want to get 2 extra apps over the next 2 weeks. First of all, flip the switch. You got to get your loan officers to stop thinking like loan officers and stop thinking like billionaires. And billionaires, for every customer, they see the lifetime value. All of those stars, those are real estate transactions. Realtors don't think about their database like billionaires do. And if you get your loan officers thinking like that, and add a couple of these slides to your deck. You know, these are things that we talk about at Sales Boomerang, where, you know, this is what the realtor's database looks like. This is what most loan officers' database looks like. This is what Rocket and Zillow and all the disruptors database looks like. Partnering with me, you know, like if you want to teach your loan officers how to kill it and 10x themselves in this market, like I can deliver something better than that. I've got Sales Boomerang. I've got Mortgage Coach. This is like the best borrower intelligence platform in fintech. This is the best presentation platform in fintech. And I can not only identify who's most likely to get a loan, I can give them options. I can give them rate quotes. The other thing, I know a lot of you guys are already sales boomerang customers. I want you to think of life alerts as client sales call reminders. Like right now, you got realtors got to call their clients, loan officers got to call their clients. And when someone just got married, everybody should be calling up, congratulations, and having a conversation. When someone has a baby, you should get the alert. Best practice, check out social media, sales call alert. So think of these as reminders. I also want every boomerang client to realize that every cash out refi alert is not just a cash out refi loan alert, it's a potential listing opportunity for one of your agents, because you know the equity, you know the debt, and again, you've got these presentation tools so that you can turn these, cash out refis into move ups, listings, transactions for your real estate agents. So I think we over delivered. I hope you got a lot of value. I'm gonna hand it off to Alex, give everybody a chance for closing thoughts, and then we'll wrap this up.
I thought you just did a fantastic job, Dave, closing that out, and Sosi and Brett. What a phenomenal masterclass. We're going to be having more of these. We've as SBMC continues to evolve and continues to make life easier. We want to give this back to you guys, the community, and so you nailed it, Dave. I will just say this for all of our clients on the call here. Mortgage Coach is, you saw me post this in the chat, I'll say it out loud. It is the way that mortgage should be done. It just is. You're truly putting your customer first. You're truly putting your referral partners first. And you're making it so easy and so clear for people to make decisions that they don't have buyer's remorse, but they're appreciative. They can talk about it. They can share it. Like it's a completely different experience than what typically happens. So I just encourage you guys so much. 1 or 2 extra deals a month to me is table stakes when you turn on Mortgage Coach. It's just the beginning. You're gonna, Sosi, to your point, multiply, multiply, multiply. And you remember the story that this whole thing started with. Give, right? You wanna give back. This is the way you give back. So Sosi, Brett, everyone, what a wonderful event.
Hey, Brett, I couldn't be more proud of you. You've got a very bright future. Thank you for getting into this. Was there anything you wanted to say that you didn't get to say? Is there any closing thought you have?
One thing I was just going to follow up on. Well, first off, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, being so new to the industry. Welcome me in with open arms. So I appreciate that. But to follow up on it, both Sales Boomerang and Mortgage Coach, the websites have an endless supply of information. Whether it's ebooks, scripts, calls, things like that, that I've found really useful. I think, Alex and David probably have the links to those places if they want to drop them in the chat. But a lot of stuff that I've been using in my marketing and my presentations to realtors, I've basically taken that and kind of twisted and made it my own, but really use that as the solid base. So I would highly recommend going on those websites and checking it out and learning from that.
Well, your success and participation is why we do it, man. So thank you. And Sosi, any closing thoughts or anything you didn't get to say that you want to make sure everybody hears?
Yeah, the only other thing I would say, guys, is this information is meant to be able to help you change your perspective so you can have even more impactful actions. And I can't emphasize enough how much Mortgage Coach YouTube channel has been a source of me gathering new information so I can create what I've created. And so Dave, I know you're going to be meeting with Josh Metal, and you just did a really cool one with him on the seller buy down. Guys, these innovative strategies on how to use a higher level of mortgage IQ to help the client better is what helps you create more apps, keep more apps, and then have those apps into clients so you can leverage them into more deals later on too. Thank you guys for the opportunity to share.
All right. And my closing thought, guys, is I would take a quote from Sosi. Everyone's IQ isn't equal. And we are in a market filled with problems. We have an affordability crisis in America. We have a financial literacy crisis in America. And a loan officer that has the highest mortgage IQ and can solve the most problems wins. And so we're here to help serve you. We hope you got value from this. Alex, I'll give you the last word if there's anything you want to say before we say goodbye. I'm just
grateful that we get to come together and give back like this. And so it's wonderful. So thank you all. This has been the highlight of my day.
All right. Well, it's been the highlight of my week. So
you
take
go.
care.
All right, you got me beat, Dave.
Thank you,
See
everybody.
guys.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Better guys.
Have a good one, everybody. This is a wrap.